Welcome to Figure Out Your Life podcast, the podcast where we try to find the answers to life's everyday questions. I'm your host, Toya T, aka Toya T, PhD, aka Dr. T, aka your sister from another mister, aka the best friend you needed but you didn't know you wanted, aka Team Cardi B. Welcome back, everyone. I am back for another episode, and this week it is going to be a fun one. I feel like we all need some fun. And I don't have to mention why we all need fun right now. I think we all have individual reasons for why we would need it. But if you live in the United States of America, we need a win. We need a W here. And not even a W. We need a W. We need a V for vaccine. And we need an F for fun. And maybe I'm talking just to myself. Maybe I'm the one that needs all this stuff. But there's lots going on. The school year has started. And for my teachers out here, teaching remote school, hybrid schools, in person, or in your classroom with no students in it, or maybe some students in it, I don't know. Keep your head up, okay? Keep your head up, your spirits, and your booties up. Because all those things can be sagging in this school year during the pandemic, no matter which type of teaching you're doing. One of these things, or all of them, are going to be sagging if you don't pay attention to it. So that means get up from the chair if you're teaching on Zoom all day long. So before we begin, I want to shout out 3 of our 5-star reviews. So starting off with moment of weakness. I'm thinking it's supposed to say moment of weakness. I understand how Apple Podcast works. They'll have all kinds of weird things as your username. But moment of weakness, or moment of weakness, says, makes me feel good. Clapping hands. Toya T does a terrific job in choosing a variety of hot topics, sharing her own expertise or doing the research for us. My favorite part is help me figure this out. This podcast has become a go-to for cheering me up in these times of turmoil. Every week, I'm looking forward to tuning in. Give us more. Oh, thank you so much. That just put a smile on my face. And let's see. This one is from Nisi J82. And she says, I'm an avid listener of podcasts while I'm on the clock. I absolutely have placed this podcast in my top 3. Toya is so real and relatable. Thank you, Nisi J. I appreciate you. The last one is from Los Rob. It says, dope. This sister has the complete package, beauty, brains, and flavor. Thank you so much. Again, I want to remind you guys that if you would like to get a special shout out on the podcast, all you got to do is leave me a 5-star review. I'm not trying to bribe you or tell you that you have to give me a 5-star review. But if you're feeling me, I really appreciate the 5-star review, and I will give you that love back. All you got to do is rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening to it, and I will get to all of these reviews. I promise I'm gonna find them. Okay. Now, let me get to this week's episode. I'm super excited about this week's episode. Nico, aka Bay. She is our guest for this episode. She is also known as the Flirty Savage on Instagram. Also, Miss Bay, if you're nasty. She gives hilarious, unsolicited advice about dating and sex on Instagram. I'm a huge fan of her Instagram page, The Flirty Savage. That's how I came to know of her. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear this conversation that we have about figuring out dating and sex, particularly during a pandemic, but also not during a pandemic. She gives tips and tricks for everything, and I hope you guys enjoy this. And with no further ado, here is my conversation with Nico, aka Miss Bay, if you nasty, also known as the Flirty Savage. All right. I just want to jump into this. I have 5 questions. Tell everyone about your business. So tell us about your businesses, because it sounds like you're a businesswoman, an entrepreneur, and I want to make sure to plug everything that you have on here. Go ahead.
Ooh, okay, so let's see there. Okay, I have a company called Flirty Savage, that a brand that's in the making right now. Flirty Savage is more geared towards dating and relationships, and especially in 2020, the evolution of it, the evolution that came about with coronavirus. So now Flirty Savage originally started where I was going to do a lot of meetup groups of empowering women, so to speak. I did one event called Fuck Your Valentine's with a PH, not with an F,
Ooh.
which was amazing. But then getting into Corona, all of that stuff stemmed down. So now my focus is more so, how do you date and adapt to dating with the changes in your life?
Mm-hmm.
And with the obstacles that's outside of your control. So I have a lot of things that's in the works right now that's coming with that. So Flirty Savage is basically all about the flirtiness and the savageness of dating. I am also a life coach.
Okay.
I am also a law of attraction coach. I have a 30-day manifestation challenge that's going on right now. We are 2 weeks in. It's my premiere one. I'm super excited. My dolls are really doing an amazing job. So I am super geeked and hyped about that. And I'm a tarot reader as well. Yeah, I have a company also called Flirty Savage Spirit, which is pretty much coaching and reading cards. All of that pretty much go along together. I also do within my tarot business and my coaching, I also do $3 text backs. So if someone texts you something, you talking to a guy or girl and you need to know what to say back, I'm your girl. I swear I be killing it. You just let me know what you trying to get to, what's the end goal. And for $3, I got you. I'm going to tell you exactly what to say. So I'm a very creative person, as you can see. I'm also a hairstylist. I have a company called Bay Life Hair Edition. But to be honest, my passion really lies with the Flirty Savage, Bay Life, and the hair. It's something that I do, but you got to know somebody to get in with me.
Okay, I got you on that one.
You know?
And I will tell everyone that I got introduced to you through your Flirty Savage Instagram page. And I don't even know how. I follow so many people that when something comes across my Instagram, if it's provocative, like your posts are, like you get me. And so you got me with all of your comical posts on sex and dating and flirting. And I really enjoy the kind of conversations, the dialogue that we've been having on Instagram. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I need to get Nico, AKA Flirty Savage, on here. I need to get Bay on here because these are the kind of things that I usually talk about with my friends. And with COVID, people quarantining and socially distancing, I don't get to have those kind of conversations that I would have in person anymore. And I just really wanted to do this for this week because I need to talk to adults about adult stuff. Because right now with Zoom school, all I end up talking to is teenagers. Teenagers, Monday through Friday, talking about teenage stuff. And then I made the big mistake of joining their group chat for my advisees. And I get teenage group chat stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? I want to talk to adults. Yeah, so I absolutely just love your page. And anytime I see your stuff, I think because I comment so much on your stuff, it pops up immediately when I open up my Instagram, which always gives me like a little giggle. It always makes my day like, oh, what's she talking about today? Oh, let me think about that. So I really
and
do
I have so
you.
much more to come. Like I haven't even touched the real surface of where I'm actually going with Flirty Savage.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I want to say, warming my heart right now. Just like the fact that I've gotten so much positive feedback and so much like love, especially from guys, you know, of course, but they're all being respectful. So yes, I talk about sex and post funny stuff about sex and stuff, but it's all still respectful. It's nothing where you walk away and you feel, ooh, I need to go take a shower. It's nothing that is like overly sexually aggressive. It's all funny. I'm a very funny person. So I can tell. Pretty much will be laughing when you come to my funeral. Y'all gonna be like, why is she laughing at her coffin? I don't know.
Yeah, that's me too. I love a good laugh. All my listeners know. I love to laugh. I laugh all the time about little things because I feel like life needs joy. Like if you can't find it in your everyday life, you need to create it. And so
exactly,
I just love being able to go on Instagram and then see something like your posts on there. I actually really enjoyed just looking you up in general. Like when I looked at your Flirty Savage page and the services that you offered, and I love that you talked about the, what is it called? What to say back. what to say back text response service.
Yes.
Which I'm hoping that one of my male friends is not listening to this, because he might start charging me. I would constantly, my friend Jamoki, every time I'd be like, oh gosh, what should I say now? What do I say to this person? Does this sound too flirty? Am I being too forward? What is this guy saying to me when he's saying this? And he's always been so gracious to read my stuff, look at my screenshots, and give me advice. And so the fact that you're actually doing this as a service is so brilliant.
Yes, and I hope when my brother hears this, he doesn't start charging me, because sometimes I have to run a couple of things by Terrence and be like, yo, Terrence, real quick, tell me what you think. So should I say this, or should, what's going on? So I'm about to text her back right now and say, is this right? Is this right? And he puts in a lot of input too. Hey, Terrence, you only got 25 cents for each text message. That's the only royalties I can give you, bro.
Yeah, you better roll him a little bit of something. But I love it. This is super useful, especially in this day and age where dating has just moved into this virtual space. I saw that you recently posted an article that was talking about why dating as a millennial is so screwed up. And
yes,
the author lists 10 reasons, but two of them that stuck out to me were we're too hyper-focused on sex and we are too strategic in our responses. I wanted to get your thoughts on what is dating in 2020? Is it trash? Is it screwed up? Is it just messed up for millennials? Are we missing something? Are we being too pessimistic? What are your thoughts on dating in 2020 as a millennial?
Definitely. The very first word to come to mind, dating in 2020 is egotistical. So everyone is looking to get their ego stroked. They are looking to look like they are the ones that came out on top. They are looking to make sure that they are the ones that's doing the finessing and they're being the finesser. Yeah. So it puts people more on a defense than what dating really should be. I think another thing when it comes to ego, and because we have those theories from social media, looking at celebrity couples, the highlights, not their behind the scenes, but their highlight reel. And we're thinking that, oh, I just met this guy, Carlos, on Thursday. Carlos, you my man on Friday. Like, I don't care who you were talking to before me, but you don't talk to them no more. And it's, baby, what's Carlos' last name? I know. And you don't even know. So I feel it's not so much, I do feel like the author said hypersexualized, but I also feel like it's in hyperdrive, period. Okay. Which goes back to being egotistical. We want to be able to claim folks and not have them claim us. We want to be able to say, you my property and I do what I want to do. So it's all about like stroking of the ego right now. And it's all about like optics, because everything is so put on blast. So nobody wants to look crazy to somebody. But also it's dating in 2020 is also silence. Yeah. And when I say that is that we don't date to communicate. We date, going back to what she was saying, being strategic. We date to say things or to do things to play chess with the other person, to make the other person do what we want them to do, versus finding out who that person really is. So we're trying to create our ideal version of a man or a woman in this other person versus allowing them to really show us what it is. So I don't really think dating is trash. I don't really think that I just feel like it's warped. I feel like that there's a lot of healing that's going on, a lot of attention being brought to therapy about talking to people and stuff like that. Oh, yes. Which is wonderful. But in order for dating to be better, we have to individually heal. So that's step one. So maybe dating in 2025 will be better than dating in 2020. Hopefully, crosses of fingers. And then also relationships are starting to be glamorized again. Yeah. And that whole culture is dying down just a little bit with Corona. Hot girl summer didn't get to go hot girl.
Yeah, you can't, because you might catch something. And it's not even the STDs, you might catch COVID. It's not even in a sexual sense. Like people, like the hoeing season is hard to get into if you can't even be in the same room together or without worrying about catching something. I keep joking about it. Dating for me right now, and I'll tell you right now, I have taken a bit of a hiatus from dating because
No.
I felt like I needed it at the time, because the last person that I dated, I just thought he was strange. I thought he was a strange man that talked about that he can't wait to watch me sleep. I said, what is going on?
What? Wait, watch you sleep?
Watch me sleep. He said, I'm sure you're very beautiful while you sleep. I said, are you serious? This is the third date. You talking about watching me sleep? Okay.
Yeah, my follow-up question would have been, so are you watching me when I allowed you into the house, or did I just wake up one morning, you cooked me breakfast, I'm trying to figure out how you got in here?
Yeah, that's why I cut it off, because I didn't know which one he was talking about. And on top of that, I have been abstaining from sex for almost 3 years. It's going to be 3 years next month.
I'm sorry.
And
let me get some water.
Yeah, get some water, because I need water too. I'm parched. Both parts of me are parched. Okay, my mouth is parched and my other mouth is parched. And part of that was like, I felt that maybe I was putting too much emphasis on sex. Like I felt like I was getting into these sexual relationships with people that were getting so complicated that they really weren't going anywhere. They weren't going in the direction that I thought they would. So I took a step back, and now I feel like I'm ready to stop abstaining from it, because everything I'm looking at is, wow, you look really good. Ooh, like everybody's turning me on. Ooh, that's sexy. You sexy. Megan's sexy. Oh, like who else is? Morris Chestnut is sexy. I'm just looking at everybody.
Oh no, Morris Chestnut's son. You know, I'm into young boys. You know,
oh, he got a son.
I'm a little cougar.
Ooh, baby. See, something like that is like, ooh, I feel like I'm ready to jump back in. But with this pandemic, I find it really hard to figure out how to jump back into dating, because I feel like I've gone through, as you said, people are spending a lot of time going through their issues, thinking about what they want, what has worked, what has not worked. And I feel like I've gone through that before the pandemic happened. And I've had like maybe an advanced level of it with the pandemic, because we really can't go anywhere. But I'm wondering, how do I jump back into the game? How would you suggest that I jump back into the game or manifest a man in my life? Because I manifested what seems like my dream job from taking a step back. And now I'm like, okay, can I manifest this man that I know is out there somewhere, but I feel like I need to find soon, because like I'm 3 years away from 40, and I'd like to at least have some babies while my eggs are still semi good. Any advice you can give to jumping back in, or just any kind of like manifestations? How can I attract the love that I'm looking for? Any tips that you can give is much appreciated.
The first thing that comes to mind as soon as you said it is like how to manifest the man. Don't focus on the man, focus on the type of relationship that you're looking for.
Okay.
So when you do that, you change your mindset and you change your focus. So you're not just looking for sex. So sometimes we as people, we get into a situation where we go through this healing, we kind of go in hermit mode, we focus on ourselves, doing our little cleanse, sex cleanse or people cleanse. But then when we get to a point where our hormones are now our focus. Yeah. So we come back out into the dating scene with our hormones. Yeah. So you're just going to get more of the same, because your focus is that I'm trying to get wanka or takata. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you come back in with you don't come back with this focus of, hey, I'm looking for this particular type of relationship. The second thing is that what does that entail when you say, I want to manifest a relationship with my significant other? Does he like to watch you sleep? Like,
well, I definitely know that's a no. Not looking for no man.
Be clear about that.
At least keep it to yourself. Don't tell me you love watching me sleep.
So to me, it sounds like that you would want to focus on, or because I always tell people, write things out. I'm a pen and paper. So write it down of exactly what you're looking for in a relationship. You're wanting someone to be more authentic with you and not quote unquote tell you something that they seen in a romantic comedy one day and it sounded good on the movie, and then they try to regurgitate it and it just didn't come off. So you want somebody that's a little bit more authentic. You want to go through and write down, does this man cook? Does he have kids? Being as specific as possible. What is this relationship like? When you get off your Zoom call and you getting ready to go to the salad place to get you something to eat, do you need to call this man to ask him, do he want something to eat too? Do y'all have that type of relationship? Or he okay if you go get your food and you don't? So we tend to want something that we don't really know what we're really asking for. A lot of us don't really know what makes us happy in a partner, especially women. As women, we tend to shy away from standing our ground and asking a man for what it is that we actually want, because we have so much fear that the man is going to shy away from us or turn to someone else because we're being demanding of them. Yes. So men don't have that problem. No. When the last time they'll push your head down real quick, get you going wherever it is they want you to go. We be over here in our head thinking like, oh Lord, I hope that he go past the belly button. No, but we don't really ask for what we actually want in a relationship, and then they've created this facade to say we can't ask them, so what's your intentions with me? Especially if we've had sex before, you are well within your rights to get some clarity about what it is that you want. And if this person doesn't give you that answer back, that means that that's your answer. Pretty much, basically, is that that person is not the person for you. They don't have a direction for you. They're just going with the flow. And that flow ain't really going to flow nowhere because it's not an objective that's there. The other thing about manifesting relationships is that you also have to be the person that is relationship quality. Yes. And when I say that, like, I am a very independent person. I'm not really good at calling people and saying, hey, help me with this. And I'm used to situationships, right? Yeah. So in order for me to manifest a relationship, I have to change some things about myself in the way that I look at men, myself. And I also have to be able to open myself up to say, hey, it's going to be okay for me to adjust my work schedule in order to fit this relationship in, which I have issues with because I'm so independent. Yeah. So therefore I'm attracting, which is law of attraction, I am attracting who I am. So a lot of times people say that, and then it be like the little memes like, God, if I'm a hoe, just say I'm a hoe. I posted one of them one day, I keep attracting fixer upper men. If I'm a mechanic, just say I'm a mechanic. Yeah. Well, really, what the attraction made the light that's in you that's attracting them may be your demons and not your strengths. Ooh. So sometimes that you have to come and look at yourself and say, hey, I attract situationships and men that come to me because they want to have a good time. And that's because my weakness or my, what we want to call demons sometimes, I like that kind of situation. I like the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. And then I don't really have to be committed to you the next day. You're not going to ask more of me. But in my mind, I might be saying I want a relationship, but I haven't really paid attention to what my habits, my ways, my subconscious is attached to. So everything, when you go, a very significant part about manifestation is your subconscious. What's your beliefs about relationships? Whatever your subconscious believes about relationships is what you're going to always get. I don't care how many retreats you do. I don't care how many detoxes you do. Whatever your subconscious mind believes about that particular situation, you're going to get. So that's why people say, I have this all the time with folks. I prayed for this man. Yeah. I prayed for him, and then 2 days later, I ran into Jonathan at the grocery store, and me and him been together ever since. But they left out the part that Jonathan married with 4 kids and 5 baby mamas. Do the math. I don't know how that happened. Because he got one on the way. Yeah. Like, baby, you pray for something. Yes, you willed something into your life. Yes. But you willed what your subconscious believed about you and your standards. So you believe that a piece of a man is better than any man because this piece of a man is showing you more attention than any other man. So now you're going to throw all of everything that you got into Jonathan and his 4.5 because you feel as though you prayed for this and this was the answer. It wasn't the answer. It's what your subconscious mind believed that you was worthy of, and that's what it gave you. You were supposed to have rejected that in order to get your true answer.
Oh.
So it's a lot in coaching. I feel like I'm going way deep and I'm starting to preach, so I'm going to bring it back a little bit. Manifestation, especially of relationships, all really starts with you and what your subconscious beliefs really believe. If I say this, I'm pretty sure you're going to think of a couple of your friends right now. We all have and know those people that they are never not in a relationship.
Yes.
They go from one relationship, that thing in, 2 days later, they got a new boo, and all of them seem like they really like them. They ain't like they selling. They really like these people.
Yes.
That's because that's what their subconscious believe.
Okay.
They believe it's not hard to have a relationship. They believe that they are constantly attracting people that are evenly yoked with them.
Oh.
That's their subconscious belief. So that's what their subconscious, the reality that their subconscious keeps creating. It's us over here that didn't have it hard. That be like, look, the last 7 jokers that I messed with since I was 21 to 41, they went hitting on that. And so I must don't affirmations, different things like that to help you with changing your mindset. But yeah, girl, I'm gonna leave that alone because I can go on and on about that manifestation, child, because it's deep, honey. It's deep in the sea.
I appreciate it because that made me think of all the people that keep asking Sierra for that prayer that she had that helped her end up with Russell Wilson. And what I'm thinking from what you just said is that you can have the prayer all you want to, but if your subconscious is not telling you that you deserve someone or you are going to attract someone like Russell Wilson, then you're not going to get that. You're not going to get the same results that she gets from getting her quote unquote special prayer that got her this man or this relationship that everyone sees as so ideal. So
I think the key to that too, speaking of Sierra, is people talk about Sierra's prayer to pray for Russell or a relationship like that. Sierra had to do some changes herself.
Yes.
Sierra had to go from being I just want any man, and I wanted in my opinion, a celebrity relationship. I wanted to be with somebody in the field that could give me notoriety. She had to lose that mindset and attach to, she wants somebody that's not going to be a street relationship, but be a home relationship.
Yes.
Someone that's going to be a daddy, not somebody that's going to be arm candy or you their arm candy in order for you to be out here in these streets saying, oh, I got a man, look at us, we on the red carpet. There's a difference in different types of men. So Sierra had to first change her mindset before she can even start praying for Russell.
That's true. You can see it. I mean, her dating patterns beforehand, I don't know if you followed her, but she was with Amari Stoudemire. She was with 50 Cent. She was with Future, even though he had 4 baby mamas or 3 or how many before her. And she knew he had a pattern and then ended up having him like cheat on her while she was pregnant and breaking off the engagement. And I can definitely see like the pattern that she had before and the kind of behavior she had before and how she's very different now. And she would have to have changed to be able to be in a relationship with Russell Wilson, especially off of what they've told us about abstaining from sex before they got married, about being very family oriented and making sure that he was a good stepfather to her son. And I can see how that would aid in attracting a different type of relationship and a different type of man because she was in a different space.
Exactly.
She definitely was.
Some people call it maturing, but others call it strategic too.
Yeah, sometimes it's both, and we all know that age has nothing to do with maturity, and people sometimes will mature at a very early age, a later age, or not at all. I have another question. So flirting, especially on the Instagram, on the socials. So flirting on the surface, most people think it's super easy. You go out there, you give a little compliment, you can look at someone in the eye, maybe you, I don't know, make some suggestions, but it can get quite messy, especially when you are interested in someone or you're trying to slide into someone's DM. I'm gonna give you an example. I don't know if you've seen the post of like Black doctors, right? So there's, oh, look at all these Black male doctors. And so I have 2 friends that are in this group of Black male doctors. And recently I was like, yo, for real, can you tell me which one of your friends are single or not single? And my friend was like, why don't you just slide into their DMs and ask? And I'm like, what, how do I do that without coming off desperate? Like, how do we actually flirt? What are your tactics for flirting, especially in this pandemic using social media? How do we get at someone? How do we slide in them DMs and not come off desperate, but cute, like cute? And I'm interested, but I'm not desperate.
So this is such a complex kind of question and answer, because the strangest thing is that I have just come to terms with that I'm naturally a flirty person.
Okay.
And I don't be meaning to be flirty. Like, it's because I'm from the South. I'm from Georgia. So I tend to call people sugar, baby, my love, stuff like that. And I don't be thinking that I'm flirting. It's just like, thank you, sugar. Like, you held the door open for me. Thank you. But when I actually try to flirt, it's, to me, in my head, it's kind of like awkward, funny. So you gonna say something back? You got like 2.3 seconds before I unsend this DM. Now, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yeah.
But I will say this: key points, especially if it's a woman looking, or someone that's looking to flirt with another man. What I have found out about men through my years of research is that it don't take much for men. You know what I'm saying? If they in the least bit find you attractive, you can say hello and they would be like, oh, I can get it.
Yeah.
They automatically just think. So you can say pretty much anything. I think that when they use the emojis to be like the little ball rolled into the DMs, to be like, oh, I love my ball rolled around into your DMs or something like that. Like, I think like stuff like that is real fun and cute or whatever. I am always going to be the person when it comes to flirting to always say to people to say and to do something that's very lighthearted. Always follow something up that is, or to say something that is funny. Everyone pretty much love to laugh, especially if you laugh. You like to laugh, like that's who you want to attract. Say something funny. Yeah. I think another good way of starting out a conversation with somebody is a form of flirting, but make it about something that you've actually seen on their post, like that you and that person have something in common. So it's, oh my God, you do a podcast. I have a podcast too. Like, I listened to your last episode, shows your investment in them. Yeah. I listened to your last episode. It was dope. So how did you come up with the fairy tale? So sometimes you just need to kind of, especially men to women. Yeah. Start a conversation with the person and let them know that you have more to offer in a conversation other than, hey, beautiful.
That is key. I see, hey, beautiful, and it's already delete and block.
Yeah, like. Oh, the other one is, hey, my queen. Oh, God. Be trying to, I don't got no Altima for you to drive, baby.
Hello, queen. I'm hello, beautiful.
Hello, king. Oh. And I love our blackness. I do. And I love it when they're genuine about it. But it's a lot of that going on that you got to be like, huh? What'd you say? Yeah. But yeah. So saying something flirty, saying something when you are flirting, get my words, when you are flirting, try to be just a little bit lighthearted and throw in a little joke or something. And then second option would be to find something that you and that person relate on or have in common and make a statement, but make sure you ask a question. Like, you don't just say something, you ask a question, the open-ended question, where you can tell that they're interested back, because if they write you more than 2 words, that means that they got a little bit, some interest that's there.
Oh, that was extremely helpful, because I know when I'm not trying, I'm so good at flirting. When I'm not trying, when I don't think you like me, when I'm just like, hey, just shooting the shit, just trying to get to know you, being myself. But when I know, oh, this person likes me, or I really like this person, I become frozen. Oh my gosh, what am I going to say? I'm sweating. Oh my gosh, can they see that I'm sweating? Did I say that wrong? So I think your tips are very helpful about just how to start the conversation, especially since the use of social media takes away that social anxiety of being face to face. I feel like people have a little bit more time to think about what they might say to introduce themselves. And it gives you a little bit more bravery because you're not right there interacting. So I like that it start off with something cute and flirty, comment, show interest, ask a question, because that is definitely, I think, the best way to figure out if someone's interested. If they came back with a yes or no and you didn't ask them a yes or no question.
Hello.
It might be time to move on.
And it minimizes that fear of rejection, because it's like, if this person come back and don't say what I want to say, I'm gonna be like, well, I wasn't trying to holler at you no way. I just was asking. I'm a funny person. I just was making a joke. So you can still clean it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the other thing to add. If I added a number 3 is
Yeah.
to take your fear of rejection out and just be you. Just say whatever it is whatever it is about that person that caught your eye, just say, I just want to let you know. And just say it. And whatever they do with that information, they do with it. But don't set your expectations for it to be like, it has to go this way or I'm going to be brokenhearted. Just say, hey, I just want to get this off of me to let you know you is fine.
Yes.
You so fine.
Which is interesting, because I think women don't realize that men like compliments too. Like, oh, you look really good. You smell really good. That shirt looks amazing on you. Like, I realize when I say things like that, and I'm not actually trying to flirt, I'm just trying to be nice. I'm trying to practice. Hey, you see someone, especially if you see another woman and she looks nice, you tell her that she looks nice. So I feel like the same thing for men. Hey, you look really nice today. Just as a compliment to, just start your day off, make you feel good. But I think that's also a good way to get your flirt on too. Like, you are fine. You are a very good looking man. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get into the sex. Let's talk about sex. So there's 2 posts that sparked my interest that you had. The first one is, and I had responded to this one. So you asked your followers if they ever had good small dick sex, which for me, and I will honestly tell you, when I saw this post, I actually sat down with it for 5 minutes and thought about it. And I was like, okay, so who has a small dick?
It took me 2 seconds.
Who got a small dick and was it good? And then it was like, no. But I don't think I've ever pointed out to someone, like in talking to my friends, oh, that person had a small dick and it was bad. I think I've said more, like I said when I commented, I can vividly remember having bad big dick sex, because there's a lot more expectations with a big dick. And when it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, that's the thing that sticks in my mind.
So you just gonna lay here? You just ain't even gonna throw it. I'm just gonna have to throw it on you.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
All right. You ain't gonna do nothing.
That's it.
Okay.
Like, do you not see that I'm not enjoying this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just don't work. You just, okay.
I like that one. And the other one that I
that's
saw.
That's the equivalent of bringing the cups in the cups in the napkins to the cookout. So.
Like that's all you brought? You ain't got no food? You brought?
I know it's the meat here, but the meat can't cook itself, sir. I mean, we got it in the oven, but the temperature ain't up high enough, sir.
Did I ask you to bring plates? Did I? No, we have no food.
Yeah, put some seasoning, sir. With the garlic salt in the seasoning salt and the onion powder. Like, put some seasonings on this. Stir this pot, sir. What's going on?
Yeah, that is the worst. That one got me. And I was like, this is brilliant, this question. The other one was about fuck buddies definitely seem to last longer than relationships. And I had to think about that one too. And I said, damn. When I look at my actual love life, that is very true. Fuck buddies have lasted way longer than relationships. And I wonder why. Maybe it's because there's no like day-to-day expectation. There's no commitment to this person. They're not going to come at me talking about where you've been, why you flirting with this person. Like there's none of that. So I just thought, like, where do you get this stuff from? Where is it coming from you? Are you finding it other places? Like, I love these types of posts.
I get it from some of everywhere. Scrolling through social media, some of the stuff I create on my own, some of the stuff I see, and I like cop somebody else's stuff, but then I make changes to it to make it even more flirty or savage, depending upon what I want. But it's just, if I see it and I immediately be like, I gotta post it. It has to. I just clean out my phone. So I try not to screenshot anything unless it's like within my agenda. But a lot of this stuff, it's a mixture. It just comes from a mixture. The Flirty Buddies thing was something that I actually was talking to one of my clients about.
Okay.
And to answer your question, I feel like that fuck buddies tend to last longer because there are clear expectations in the fuck buddy category than when it is in a relationship. So people tend to be a little bit more open when it's just you just coming over for the night, or I don't want anything really further with you because I know you're not that type of person.
Yeah.
So it's like the expectation is less, the care is less, and it's just a whole bunch of openness that's like there. So especially when it's the fuck buddy of that, you already know this person will not work well with you in a relationship. So I don't have that desire at all.
Yeah.
But I'm going to continue to smash you. I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm not going to take it any further than that. So you already know where this is going. So you can't, and you already know where the car that you're in works well.
Yes.
It doesn't break down. It's a Tesla. It doesn't break down.
You don't have to look under the
well.
hood. You don't got to tell it where to go.
No, it's just as long as you don't expect this car to do more than what you decided that it was going to do when you got into it, it's fine. So when you get into a relationship, I don't feel like people kind of really tell exactly what their viewpoint is. It's just we've been, especially when people end up with their baby mama, their baby daddy. It's like we got history, but that history developed traumas. It didn't develop a true love bond. It developed a trauma bond. Y'all been together and ran each other over with cars and stuff like that. So it's just like now, since his wanker don't work no more, now he want to choose. That's called trauma bonding. But hey, why not? Yeah. So I feel like relationships, especially when people go from dating and then they get married.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of marriages struggle, is because you don't really, and even going from a fuck buddy situation into a relationship, you don't really have those conversations with the other person to say, hey, what's your expectation? Like, how do you envision a relationship working, or how do you envision a marriage working?
Yeah.
And asking the other person, because even though y'all may get along well, have the greatest things in common, but can have completely opposite. And I think a great example of that is Cardi B and Offset. I don't know their relationship personally, but you can tell Cardi B, you can tell Cardi B got married with the mindset that she was about to be like Sierra, a family person.
Yes.
And Offset thought that he was marrying the hoe. You know what I'm saying? That he was going to be able to still be in the life and not come home. And you can just tell, like, from his energy, but you can also tell that he tried to conform to her vision of like marriage and stuff like that, but that's just not really who he is.
Yeah.
From reading them from an energy perspective, I don't know them personally, but reading them from an energy perspective, it's a great example of what people do in real life. That's not celebrities, and they end up getting their feelings hurt. So that's why fuck buddies end up working better, because the expectation is clearly stated. You can tell them whatever you want to tell them because you don't care.
Yeah.
You still gonna come over tomorrow, and
that is true. Okay, so my last question is, let's talk a little bit about kinky sex, right? So I want your thoughts on some of these groupies or professional celebrity fuckers, as I like to call them, that are exposing their partner's kinks. So, for example, Trey Songz and those girls that talked about how he likes golden showers. And then recently with Odell Beckham Jr. and them talking about how he likes scat play. And for those who don't know what that means, that's any kind of sexual like relations that involves feces. So taking a dump on someone after you have sex or whatever. How do you feel about people like outing their partner's kinks?
That is okay. So basically what I'm trying to say in my thoughts, right? You need to know who you dealing with when you dealing with them. You know what I'm saying? So if you are dealing with, and they don't even necessarily have to be a celebrity, old school skank, as we used to call it. They don't, if you messing with Keisha and Keisha told you about your seven homeboys, or she didn't bang all of the group or whatever, do what you do, but just know the likelihood of it getting out is probably going to get out. I don't feel like that people should be exploiting other people in order for them to get a financial or a clout gain by saying, hey, he liked the pooper pot. I don't really feel like that they should do that. But on the flip side of it, it's still, you knew what risk you was taking. You took a whole bunch of risks.
Yes.
When you started mess with Skanky the Poo. If you knew this going in, it's almost like you consented to it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if, and I understand with those type of girls, dudes like to do all the stuff they've ever seen when they were 6 years old in porno. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they want to do everything that Pornhub has to offer, and they want to fulfill their fantasy of, no pun intended, but pooping on a girl, being, what's the word? Like, dehumanizing a woman.
Yeah.
Because that's what porn really teaches people, if you ask me. But they want to fulfill those fantasies that they can't necessarily do with the girl next door or the regular groupie girl. So you want to fulfill those fantasies, but baby, you need to come in like Beyonce with an NDA and say, now look, I'm going to pee on you.
Thank you.
But before I pee on you, make sure you sign right here now. You can't tell people that I peed on you now, okay? Cover your own bases is basically what I'm saying. I don't feel like that people should do it, but at the same time, when you're in that situation, especially if you are someone that can gain clout off of you, make sure you cover yourself so they don't come out and tell it. As far as just you running into some random girl and she starts to talk about that she wants to peg, put on a strap on and do you, then you might want to think, because it's a lot of relationships that we're looking at. I wonder, why won't he leave her? Like, why are you still there? It's because the girl has introduced him to some stuff, or either they've done some stuff that's questionable, and he can't leave because she's going to sell it. So it's like a tricky kind of situation, because it's some things that we all have done, even outside of kinky sex, that you're taking a risk and trusting somebody to do. Even if you're like in a marriage or relationship with them and then it don't work, or they get mad one day, you're taking a risk. So my thing is, fuck them people. Just do what you do, boy, and be your authentic self. If you like that, you like that. You know, if you like men on men, if you like to watch gay porn or like whatever, I mean, boo, yeah, I do. And that's why I like Andrew Gillian. Is that his name?
Yes.
From Florida.
At least he finally came out and said, yes, I am bisexual. I was there.
What you gonna do?
Yeah. What now? What are you gonna dig up now? I'm admitting it. You said I was passed out drunk. Yes, I have a drinking problem. Like, like, what else do you want to do? And I think that's probably the best way to handle those kind of things. Because when you deny, that's when people are like, why are you denying so hard? Is there a problem? You didn't seem to have a problem when you were doing it.
I have a great quote that I always say to people: he who knows your weakness knows how to control you. Oh. And if your weakness is a secret, they definitely have you by the balls, twisted, tight. So you're never going to have that over me, because I'm going to be Andrew. I'm just going to say, I did it. And what?
Yeah, that's how I handle things too. I was like, oh, you want to tell my business? Go ahead. Let's go. We can go.
Let's go.
We can go. I'll
Matter of fact, let me tell it, because you ain't telling them.
I did this. Oh, I didn't do that. Let's be clear. But
take that out.
that is how I always feel about stuff. Come on, folks. If we're all consenting adults at this point, there's nothing you can say that can shame me. I made a rational decision to do this. If it was a mistake, it was a mistake, but I still did it. So you can't hold anything against me if I'm willing to admit it. Let's do it.
You missed a couple of parts, but I ain't gonna add them in. But if you go back and look for it, it was right there. I was hoping that you was actually gonna say, I ain't even gonna get it back. I was gonna talk about Jeffrey Epstein and his deposition, and the lawyer was asking him questions, and he was basically like coming in saying, oh, so you think, and basically he was saying like, y'all ain't even at the tip of the iceberg. I did way more worse stuff than what y'all talking about. That was his whole demeanor during the whole deposition.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you gonna be
it, didn't even hide the evidence in his main house. They were like, we walked in and it was just all over the place, just pictures and portraits and videos over here. They're like, damn, wow. I don't know if that freedom comes from being like a white man or from being rich or just being him. I didn't know where that freedom came from. And what he did was mostly disgusting. But I did take from it that sometimes you have to be okay with the person that you are, especially since you don't know what's ever going to happen. That's what I took from it. Like he seemed to be very loud and proud in his issues and didn't hide it from the people that were close to him. So
because they was all involved too.
Because they were involved. Like, and again, making sure you can't have anything on me because we're doing the same things. We're in a group together.
And if you're not doing it, who gonna check me? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because hey, it's so many of us that do it, that do things that Trey Songz like, that do Odell Beckham shit poo. Like it's so many people that do like it. So even if you don't like it, I'm gonna have 20 other people that do and gonna stand behind me, and that's gonna keep me from prison as they did. You know?
That is true. People who think that they're alone, you're not alone.
You're not alone.
Surprisingly. But oh my
Uh-oh.
gosh, Nico, babe, I appreciated this conversation so much.
I mean, I am so loving it. We vibe well together anyway. But
Yes.
baby, this is
I told you, I feel like the chemistry is good. Like, I gotta get her on the podcast because people need to hear this.
Yes, and you have so much more to offer on this conversation too. I know I'm here, but you know your commentary be right on point.
No, you be putting me in the corner. I'm like, I already know. Let me be honest here.
You've been in timeout a couple of times. Man, you was in timeout so much. One time I was like, you can't bring no snacks in the timeout in the comment section.
And I told you I like water, so it's okay. I like water. I will sit over there. You give me a gallon of water, and I will sit there with my punishment. Like, one of your posts actually got people really. I had reshared the one I think you put about banana sizes.
Oh yeah.
With penis sizes. I put that out there, and one guy that follows me was like, "You never answered the question of what is your preference," and I answered it. And he said, "Wow, you're so accommodating." I was like, "I don't feel like I'm being accommodating by answering your question. I was just being honest and authentic. I felt like we're having a conversation. It's a picture of bananas. We all know what we're talking about, but if you're going to ask, you should expect me to answer the question." I thought that was so funny.
So did you take that as him flirting with you? I
took it as him flirting with me, but then I also was like a bit thrown off by him saying accommodating, because I was like, okay, we're talking around sex and you're saying accommodating. And I'm thinking like, okay, I've never ever thought of myself as accommodating. I don't think it's accommodating to talk about penis preference size or anything sexual in those terms to be accommodating. It's either you like it or you don't like it. And so I just thought that was really funny that he asked.
In my brain, it would have been like, "Oh, please elaborate on accommodating. Let's go further into that."
I was like, "What?" Because I was so thrown off. I was, "What do you mean by accommodating? I'm not being accommodating."
Or, sir, did I not pick your size because you was trying? But
I know that's what I was thinking. I was like, "Okay, so are you trying to get into this conversation?" But he's like, "I appreciate you answering it. I just wanted to ask." I was like, "Okay, cool." But it's that kind of stuff that I like. Your posts definitely, for the people who follow me, it does spark conversations that my close friends would have had with me, but now I'm having these conversations with people across the world on Instagram, and I find it so interesting having these like adult conversations about adult things.
Yes. And to be free, because and then the other thing that I love about my page is, and you said this to me before, that it was kind of like a safe space a bit, because you don't, even though I have actually more men that follow me than females.
That's surprising.
Yeah. And even if you look at my DMs and stuff, they are all very nice. They are all very, none of them are overly aggressive. None of them is like, "Oh, show me your pinky toe." Like they're not those type of followers or whatever. And I love the fact that they'll also jump into some of the stuff, because I try to make sure that I come back and I say some stuff that's for the men as well, to try to keep it balanced. But they're also like, they speak their piece or whatever, but it's never disrespectful. I just love the fact that all of my followers so far is very respectful. We have mature conversations. If you want to say something in the comments, and then I have people that just be telling me, like, they'll see me in the streets and be like, "Yeah, I was reading your comments." I was like, "You ain't like it? Why you ain't comment?" Y'all know Instagram algorithm be having me jacked up. I missed one day of posting and I'm back down at 10 views or so.
It's like, come on, people, say things. Let's comment back and forth on this.
Yeah, but I'm very happy though, because I do have a strong base of you guys that I love you guys, not just because it's beneficial to me, but I love the fact that y'all are very open to talk about the same stuff that I want to talk about.
As you said, it's like it's very like wink, wink, tongue in cheek, but we all know what we're talking about. And I appreciate that. It's not too raunchy. You're not going to come on your page and all of a sudden see titties and dicks and balls, which I've seen on some pages. And I had to I'm like, oh, this is too early. Why did I wait?
Yeah.
I thought we were cool. And all of a sudden it's no.
Yeah. It's a nice little blend. It's more about the conversation around it than it's actually about the selling of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, promoting or selling anything. I'm just saying the little bit or the lot that you are having, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what your dating life is like. I have another episode getting ready to start. Hopefully it'll be launching next week.
Okay.
Where it's going to be about like dating preparations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Preparations, because I don't think men really understand how much go into preparation that a woman really has to do. And I think that sometimes we as women, we don't really understand what men may have to do.
Species, I swear.
Yeah, we got to you don't want to see no hair. You only want to see this amount of makeup. You want to look like you polished, but with no makeup on. You got to make sure that your lace front ain't showing. It's laying down. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that you have to do as a female.
Yeah.
So starting to go into all of those services. And then I know men now go and get manscaped and stuff. I love a manscaped.
Thank God.
Man.
Thank
I love a manscaped man.
Thank God. I've seen bushes bigger than the penis.
Ooh, I can't stand it. It's like, baby, I got to find it. And then my hairstyle, so I'm going to braid it to the side. I'm going to give you 2 little cornrows. 1 cornrow on this side. You got some rubber bands, sir. I'm going to lock this at the bottom.
Like,
what about the color rubber bands? Now I done got creative down here.
I know.
This man gone, sir. That to me. Why?
Yeah, I'm so happy that is now a thing. Like, yes, please, Manscaped, please.
Yes.
Please. It's good for everyone.
Yeah. You already got the beard, and hey, I like your beard. But
yes, I like your beard on your face.
Yeah,
on your face.
Let's not have a secondary beard. What in the oxtails is going on here, sir? Like, no, I'm done looking for it, sir.
Oh my gosh, this was so enjoyable. Oh my gosh, thank you for joining me today. Before we go, I want to make sure that you list and tell everybody where can they reach you, where can they follow you, where can they support you. Shamelessly plug yourself, because I love shameless plugs and I try to support people as best as I can.
Hey, I'm with it. My website is www.flirtysavage.com. My Instagram and Facebook is The Flirty Savage. My tarot, life coaching, and law of attraction coaching is Flirty Savage Spirit. That's the same thing on Instagram and Facebook. Oh, and I just recently, like yesterday, just finally put up my YouTube channel. So I'm getting that together, and it's going to be the same. One of them is Flirty Savage, which is the dating, and the other one is Flirty Savage Spirit, which is I do the daily tarot card reads, forecast for that day. And then I'm getting into doing the actual horoscopes and stuff. Right now, that's about it. I think that's about enough. So basically anything that says Flirty Savage or The Flirty Savage or Flirty Savage Spirit, that is me on all social media platforms except for Twitter.
Yes.
I'm not on Twitter yet. I need to get on Twitter.
Thank you so much. This was so great. This is so
I know.
amazing.
I had an amazing time.
Now it's time for Figure This Out. So, it's been a hard week. So, I think you know where I'm going with this. Figure this out for me. Why is it that if you kill a Black woman while she is sleeping in her bed, in her house, and she hasn't done anything illegal, she is not at fault, she doesn't have a criminal record, not like it matters, but she has no reason to be bothered, to be interrogated, to be scared, to be woken up in the middle of the night, to have to feel hot metal go through her body and eventually have one of those hot metals take her life. How come, if you can figure this out for me, how come with all that can happen that people care more about walls, political affiliation, their, loyalty to their jobs, loyalty to ignorance. I don't know what else. They care about everything but the lives of Black women. And I'm saying this in regards to the non-indictment of the officers that led to the death of Breonna Taylor. The fact that only one officer was charged and not even charged with her murder, not with her death, not even for manslaughter. I don't care if it was your job or not. You still did something that killed this woman, although this officer I don't think is the one that had the the fatal shot that killed Breonna. That one I don't think has any charges at all. This is the one that was shooting so many bullets because, I don't know, I guess you don't care about using your firearm responsibly or not just wantonly firing your dangerous lethal weapon in a neighborhood at night where there may be children, sleeping people, or just people who are human beings. The fact that it's hard for me to get around it because it doesn't make any sense. And I'm trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. And I know this whole part is about you helping me make sense of something that I can't figure out, but I can't even get the words together to explain to you the issue that I am having. And so let me restart this. The police officers that were doing their job, in that they were told, we assume, by their superior officers, whoever's the head of their team or whoever gave them the right to go and engage in a no-knock warrant for two persons that they were looking for. I want to understand. Oh, I'm getting lost. I understand they were doing their job. But again, I know that if this was a different neighborhood, they would not be doing this the way that they did. Also, for the fact that the family of Breonna Taylor sued the city of Louisville, Kentucky, and was awarded $12 million in a wrongful death suit, which in itself would admit that there was a wrongful death, which is Breonna's death. She wasn't doing anything and was killed in her bed by these officers that were doing, quote unquote, their job to find these two people that apparently were already arrested before they did their, quote unquote, job. So if they gave the wrongful death settlement, which would mean that there was a wrongful death, somebody has to be wrong when there is a wrongful death. But the city says that there is nobody that is wrong for this, because the people that led to this death that was wrong, which was not supposed to happen, have not been charged for the death of this young Black woman that could be any of us. It could be me. And I'm trying not to cry. And my mother told me that us young people, and I guess she just means younger than her because my mother's in her 60s, that we put too much emotion into this. And I don't know how we can't be emotional about it. I saw someone write that our bedrooms, the spaces that we lay down our heads and are truly vulnerable because you are not conscious. You are there and anyone can come in at any time and harm you. But the bedroom is supposed to be your safe space, right? Your bed is supposed to be the safe space. When you're a child, there's this idea, at least for me, that the monsters couldn't get me as long as I was on my bed. Ugh. If they're underneath the bed, if they're in the closet, they may be there. We all have these childish ideas about where the monsters are. They're always in the dark places that we can't see, our closet and underneath our bed. We know they're in those places, so we stay away from them because we have designated our bed as the safe place. Monsters cannot get us there. To think that she went to bed, Breonna went to bed after whatever day she had. It doesn't matter, good, bad. Maybe she worked, maybe she didn't. Maybe it was a good day. To think that she went to bed and thought that she was safe. And to go from dreaming to being in danger and then your life being gone. And the people who did this, even though they were quote unquote doing their job, not being punished thus far, not being punished saying that your death was wrong, but not saying that anybody was wrong, because the one officer that is being indicted, that has been charged, is being charged with wanton endangerment, and not wanton endangerment of Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend, but wanton endangerment of the neighboring apartment where there was a family that was not on the no-knock warrant, and the bullets went through their walls and possibly could have wrongfully killed them. Yet the criminal justice system in this country is telling us that they're not wrong. The fact that they would charge for the possible death of the neighbors but not of the person who died makes absolutely no sense to me. They shot her and then denied her immediate care, denied her care from first responders. Those police officers didn't even try to give Breonna care. They were too mad about the fact that Breonna's boyfriend had shot at people that charged into his house, knowing that they live in a state where people have the right to carry. And then if you bust into somebody's house, that they very much can and will shoot you. And so they were too busy talking about, oh, you shot my boy, so we just gonna start shooting. Oh yeah, it's the Wild West out here. We playing Fortnite. Oh yeah, we finally get a chance to get some action. I don't know that can happen, and they don't get punished. But if I did that, I'm pretty sure I would get punished. I just don't understand. I don't understand. If you can figure that out for me, just let me know. Let me know. Walls, dogs, everything, but the life of Black women matter. Just if you can let me know that. Please explain, and let me know if I'm being too emotional about it. Maybe I'm supposed to see that change will happen. Okay. So you let me know if you can figure out why they haven't been charged, why Breonna Taylor will not get justice, why they don't seem to take the lives of Black women seriously, because if it was anybody else, this investigation would have went a lot faster and it would have had a very different outcome. So if you can explain any of this to me, you let me know. And with that, I'm done. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. I know I wanted to keep it fun and light, but my figure it out just, I don't know, it hit a little bit different, and I felt like I would be irresponsible if I didn't actually do the figure it out that was on my spirit. Even though this episode was a fun episode and was fully intended to be a fun episode, but current events, life happens, and you have to react, and that's how I felt about that. So if you like this episode, please go ahead and do me several favors. One, make sure you're subscribed to this podcast so you get it when it hits. Because even though I might take some breaks here and there, I always come back. I will always come back to you all, because this is like therapy to me. This is my therapy, part of my therapy, part of what brings me joy, that helps me get through. So if you want to make sure that you hear it when I come back, subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening to this. Also, if you have not done so, please, I would appreciate it if you rated and reviewed the podcast wherever you're listening to it, so that this podcast can continue to grow and we can all figure out our lives together. And the last thing that I am asking is that you share this podcast with a friend, preferably 3, because 3 is my favorite number. I would really appreciate it if you did those 3 things: subscribe, rate and review, and share with 3 friends. And that's all I have to say on that. Before I go, I just want to say I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you're listening to this. I want you to stay blessed. I want you to stay safe. I want you to stay woke. I want you to continue to wash your hands and to wear a mask. And I will talk to you guys next week. Okay.